All right, welcome to the Thursday night team Zoom. I've been doing this headed into 20 years every Tuesday, Thursday night for a very long time. And I'm honored to have Josh Parker to see them go when I first met them in our country club in Florida, and to see them grow into monster leaders, but also leading the field as a liaison for us, working corporate side and in the field as well. The man has the wealth of knowledge. And anytime you see Cammy and the rest of them doing whatever, Josh is the operating mechanism behind the scene that puts it all together. And Josh, I'm just so appreciative you be here. I enjoyed my time with you on the islands a couple weeks ago. We got to do that more often. And I want you to come in and share the vision that we casted on the island, share the vision, but how powerful this is. It's the most powerful thing we've ever done in our 20-year history. And the legacies are going to be made. It's going to be in a very short order with momentum. Josh, take it away.
All right, guys. Well, thanks, Rusty. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed that time together as well on the island. And, it's crazy as I look back over the last 9 years with It Works, there's been so many amazing opportunities that I've had to be together with leaders, to learn from leaders like everyone that's on this Zoom. And so I want to say again, thanks for investing your time tonight. You could be doing anything out there in the world that there is to do, and you're right here investing in yourselves, investing in your business, and preparing for your future. So I know that the times that I've done that through the last 9 years have paid off handsomely for me me and Amber to be able to create what we're creating with our team. And I know it's the same is true for you guys in your team. So where do you want me to start, Russ? Do you want me to just kind of give a brief overview and then we can take questions and go back and forth type of thing?
Yeah, that was good. And you and I had mentioned the crazy momentum it's going to come with just focusing on one. Just give them a brief interview, tease them a little bit for the 7th, and then let's just go rip this thing apart.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'll start by saying, like I said, I've been in this business I've been with It Works 9 years. And something that I've appreciated year over year, and Rusty can attest to this too, is that we are constantly reinventing ourselves. We're constantly innovating. And along with that comes some bumps and bruises, but that comes with everything. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, you can create a well-oiled machine and you can leave that machine exactly as it is and continue to oil it and just leave it as it is. But then you don't have as many bumps and bruises, but then you become blockbuster, you become obsolete, you go out of business. And so I've been really impressed with Mark's vision over the last 9 years, with the people that he surrounded himself with, his executives, the members of his family, even with including people from the field with experience building the business today. And this change that we're getting ready to implement right now, or that we are implementing right now, is a product of that. It's a product of Mark having a huge vision, caring about all of us, wanting us to be able to be as successful as we can, seeing the market and seeing where we can improve on some things, getting some feedback from the field, and then going out there and making some big changes. So we're really excited about this. And what I love most about it, Rusty, is that it's really just based on a solid foundation of principles that are foundational to what we do. And that is, when we help other people be successful in this business, then we in turn become successful. And so kind of a habit that we've got into over the last couple of years is just enrolling. Enroll as many as you can, bring in as many as you can, and hope that one of those many sticks, learns, grows. Hopefully they come in with experience, hopefully they know what they're doing, hopefully with a little bit of guidance that we give them, we can have a solid group of leaders that take off. And what we're finding is that although that has worked okay for some people, for the masses it's not working. What works is for us to bring in distributors and spend some time with them. Anybody that's been on a Zoom with Cammy over the last few weeks, she's been talking again about recognizing, and then spend a third of your time growing your mindset. learning, growing yourself, doing your personal development, spending time in your scriptures, reading a book, listening to something. And so really we're getting back to those principles where we are focusing on ourselves, bringing in one person, one DT a month at least, bring in one DT and 4 LCs, okay? So I'm gonna focus every month on bringing in one distributor and 4 loyal customers. And then within that new distributor's first 30 days, I'm gonna work with them, I'm gonna teach them, I'm gonna mentor them, and I'm gonna help them bring in their own 4 loyal customers and their own distributor. And what I really love about this plan is it incentivizes everyone. So when a new distributor comes in and they get their own, they build their own business, they bring in their own 4-in-1, they are rewarded with a $150 bonus. And then when I, as their enroller, okay, let's say that I sign Rusty up this month, okay, I'm supposed to go get my 4-in-1, so I sign up Rusty, I get my own 4 loyal customers, right? Then my job is to teach, mentor, and coach Rusty to help him bring in his 4-in-1. So he enrolls Carrie, he gets his own 4 loyal customers. Rusty gets $150 for bringing in his own personal 4-in-1, and I, as the upline, because I help coach and mentor him, I get $350. Okay, so yeah, that's significant money. So what I really, really love about this is, you know, at any time over the last year or 2 or 3 years, any of us could have said to ourselves, you know what, I'm not going to follow the masses. I'm not going to enroll as many as I can like everybody else. I'm just going to slow down and bring in a few and coach them and mentor them. And probably some of you have been doing that, but mostly everyone was not doing that. And what's really smart about the company is, even though each of us is an individual business owner, even though each of us is an individual leader of our teams, we have the flexibility to kind of teach and lead our teams as we wish. We can kind of create our own culture. Most of the time, our teams will do what they see other leaders doing. They'll do what they see us doing, and they'll see what the company is teaching, what they are recognizing, and what they are incentivizing. And so now, not only do we know that it feels awesome to help somebody be successful by helping them get their 4-in-1, now we are paid very well for it. We are incentivized to take a little bit of time away from doing all this recruiting that we're doing. We're not going to stop recruiting. I still need to get my 4-in-1 every single month, but I'm going to spend less time recruiting. I'm going to spend more time investing in my team, because what happens is if you just recruit, you turn around 6 months later, or you turn around a year later, and you feel exhausted, and you don't have, most of the time, you don't have much of a team because you didn't take the time to mentor, teach, and pour into those people. And so what we have coming out right now will be finalized on September 7th, and all the details will come out then. But we're starting today. The focus as of today is I should bring in one distributor and 4 loyal customers, and then I should help that distributor bring in a distributor and 4 loyal customers. So starting today, we're getting started. And what's really great about the money that's coming along with this is, you know, it takes a lot of the pressure off of chasing that high recruitment. There's no incentive anymore to do that. We know it doesn't work. We know it doesn't pay off long term. We know we get exhausted after months and months and months of doing it. So now we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to get back to the foundational principles that we know work, which is bring people in, care about them, teach them, mentor them, partner with them. And then we're going to be able to make a bunch of money right away for doing that. And when we turn around 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, we're going to have an amazing team full of leaders that are working with us, that are building their own teams, that are confident, And all of the other stuff that comes along with that. We're going to have more solid promotions. Our promotions are going to stay. When we promote, we're going to continue to grow. And all of those things are going to build upon themselves. But it just starts with that. It starts with how we bring people in and how we treat them when they come in, because all of us on here know, and I recognize quite a few faces on here. I know quite a few of you have been in for a while. Some of you maybe are newer. But usually when people come in brand new, they're most of the time hopeful, but also doubtful, right? They've watched you, they've seen all the blessings that have come into your life because of it works. And they want those blessings. They're hoping that they can bring those same blessings into their own lives. They want to be debt free. They want to have a little bit of extra money at the end of the month. They want all their bills to be paid on time. They want to have time to spend with their spouse, time to invest in their kids, time to have a hobby that you can pour some time into, they want that freedom. But most of the time, as hopeful as they are, they also are doubtful. They have doubts. They're not super confident that it's going to work for them. They're worried about what people will think of them, or their family, their friends, all of these things they have working against them. So if we bring somebody in and we tell them that we can help them get those blessings, and then we just let them go, 99.9% of the time, those people are not going to do a lot because they're not confident. They don't know exactly what to do. And although they're hopeful, they're also doubtful. So instead of that, we're going to bring them in. We're going to invest our time. We're going to teach them, mentor them, love on them, help them overcome those fears, and help them grow their faith that they can be successful in this business. Help them overcome their doubt that it's not going to work for them, even though they've seen it work for you, even though they've seen it work for me, even though they've seen it work for hundreds or thousands of other people. They still have those doubts. And so if we can do that, if we can get on board with this, each of us as a leader of our organizations have an opportunity right now to buy into this 100%. We're going to buy into this 100%. We're going to be geeked about it. We're going to be excited. We're going to talk about it and talk about it and talk about it until we're blue in the face. We're going to get everybody on our team on board with this, because if we can do that successfully, what you'll see is you'll start seeing people growing in their faith, being more, doing more of the actions that we know that we need to do to be successful in this business. Because if we're faithful and we're confident that we're going to get some results, then we do those actions. People that are doubtful and don't feel like they're going to get results oftentimes don't do the work. And so if they don't do the work because they're not confident enough, then they don't get then they don't get the rewards, and then they quit. If we can take them despite their doubts, we can mentor them, teach them, help answer their questions, help them through that period of time where they're not so confident, help them get that first success under their belt, help them get their 150, help them get their first 350. I mean, if you can get a distributor $500 in their first 30 days, that's significant. If you look at just the stats, in the United States of how close so many people are to bankruptcy, if somebody loses their job, people don't have a month or 2 or 3 months of reserves. Somebody's, needs to replace a battery in the car. Just that unexpected expense is a significant thing that can put a lot of people in a bad financial situation. So getting somebody $500 in their first 30 days and then having a team underneath them already to start their residual income is just game changer. It's game changer. It completely changes people's outlook of what they can do in this business and how confident they are. And so it just starts with that. So that's what we're changing. We're changing the way that we're onboarding people by saying, hey, get your own 4-in-1, help that person get 4-in-1. We're going to pay you. We're going to pay them. Everybody's going to be happy because they got paid. Everybody's going to be more confident. People are going to know more. And that person's going to be, they're going to know that you care about them because you spent time with them, mentoring them, teaching them, and helping them be successful. So I can't wait. There's actually a lot more to this that's going to come out on September 7th, but that's the basics. That's what we need to be telling our teams between now and then. Between now and the 7th, when we get all the details and so there's a lot more actually exciting news that we're going to hear on the 7th, but that's what we should be prepping our teams for starting tonight. Get your 4-and-1, help your 1 get 4-and-1. You're going to get paid, they're going to get paid. It's going to be a solid foundation. And then we've got even more exciting stuff coming on the 7th. So I can't wait, Rusty.
Yeah. From what he said, Josh, touch on just a little bit about, and you've been with a couple runs with us, touch about this system. I've never seen it in my history with Mark, but the momentum was going to create because of confidence, but the duplicatable system is so simplistic. It will create monster momentum. And I think that we're going to see that we break industry records. We're going to definitely break company records, but we're going to break industry records. Could you touch on how momentum really just kind of picks you up in that way? But you and I've had the pleasure of riding a couple times. I mean, the stuff that you and I have got to do in this business all these years. If you touch on that a second, everybody on here is hungry.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very committed.
I mean, it gets crazy, you guys. I mean, when we started in 2012, I had never been part of network marketing at all. Had never been a distributor. I live in Utah, guys. Utah is like the national capital of network marketing. There's like so many network marketing companies in Utah. I got approached by every juice and lotion and everything that you could even wrap your brain around. But I didn't really understand it, and I had been approached so many times that I was kind of like most of the people that don't know much about network marketing. They just heard from their aunts, friends, brother that it doesn't work, right? So that was where I was at when we found it works. And we didn't start it to make significant money. Amber started it because she tried the wrap and it worked for her. She cares about other people, and so she wanted other people to have the results that came from the wrap, and she did that. And then we were in a tough financial situation where $200 or $300 extra a month really would be significant for us. And so we just got started based on that. Let's wrap as many people as we can because they work. We talked about the product passionately because we knew they worked. And then we started going, and then, all of a sudden within 8 months, we were triple diamond, making $15,000 a month. And it caught us by surprise big time. And momentum does that. And what I like about this system, this is something else that you'll hear Cammie talking about, a reason that we're doing things the way that we are. It's pretty amazing when you can switch your mindset from seeing a chart and recruiting or looking for people to put on your team in order to fill out your chart. Okay, that's what a lot of people have been doing over the last couple of years. When we started, we followed the chart, but we weren't focused on the chart. We were just focused on wrapping as many people as we could, helping as many people as we could, and that was it. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no clue. We had never been in before. And so we focused on the right things, and a lot of people in the company focused on the right things. And through all of that focus on the right things created momentum. And we had people that were excited about the products because they worked. And then we had people starting to make a little bit of money, and that made them more excited. And so they worked even more and they became more confident. And that's exactly what we've experienced a few different times, like Rusty said, over the years. It's super fun too. It's super fun to just be on a team and building a team that everyone's excited. People are making money. People are successful. You're shouting out promotions. You're on month's end and you've got 8 or 10 or 12 people working on promotions, and you're working with all of them. It gets really fun and really exciting. And when you've got all of that activity going, and you've got people that are excited, you've got people that are confident, and everyone's working together, then all of the other logistics of filling out your Ruby chart, or filling out this Emerald chart, or filling out your Triple Diamond chart, that becomes, the last thing that you're worried about. That's just happening naturally because everyone's doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And so, just like Rusty said, we're about to go on one of those types of runs, and it's going to be significant. It's going to be getting back to the basics and having all the things in place and putting priority in the right place so that it's fun. So you've got momentum, you've got forward motion, things are solid. People on the team are happy because their checks are going up. Promotions are coming in. We've got better products now than we've ever had in any point in history of It Works. We have better products. We've got a better system. We've got our teams in place. I'm just super excited about it, Rusty.
Yeah. After all these years, I still feel like I'm on a honeymoon, and I never lost that excitement. And I was talking to the folks today, which I'll be on a Zoom tomorrow, and with them. And what you said about creating inflation, and I want to clarify what we've done is you can look at your business like you just paid off your credit cards and cut them all up, no more inflation, because now you don't have to worry about chasing that. It automatically develops. We call it build it tight, build it right. And once you do that, the development of you teaching people to duplicate your efforts, once this duplication kicks in through this is so simplistic. You don't have to worry about 8 or 10, one at a time. And through the duplication process, you're going to create a monster. That's why I'm still here 20 years later. My philosophy's been a little bit different. I was kind of criticizing some of the younger people. You just don't understand. I said, well, I understand. I'm a former big banker. I understand inflation. I understand that you can set something up that you can a house of cards that will crash later. Temporary. I'm not in anything for temporary. Neither is Mark. So I've seen him pivot several times during the course of the years and take us in a right different direction. And what I love about Mr. Pentecost is he said, if everybody's going left, we're going to go right. If everybody's backing up, we're going forward. We're not following the masses. We're going to create this momentum. And I promise you, if I were you on this Zoom, nothing could get my attention other than this right here, focusing on what Josh just went over with you. Because one, Josh, I never been paid to gather my own loyal customers or $50 bonus. Never happened. And then to recruit somebody and then to help them for $500 a person. And once you hit diamond or better, your coding money, all the crazy stuff starts to really kick in. Trust us, this by design is developed so you to maximize every aspect of this compensation plan. Do you agree, Josh?
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And that's what I love about this, just like you said, is it all builds on itself. We're trying to, I don't know about you guys, but I am going to be doing It Works the rest of my life. I know I will. I will stamp it right now. Amber and I will be building It Works for the rest of our lives. So when you think about it that way, you know that you want to get to a point where you're working your business in a way that absolutely enhances every part of your life, right? You don't want to work. None of us are designed to work all day, every day. We love what we do. Believe me, I love It Works and what we do. I love bringing new people in. I love working with our team. I love working with corporate. I love being on this Zoom with you guys. But there's also other stuff in my life that I like to do. I like spending time with my wife. I like traveling. I like spending time with my kids. I like to golf a little bit. There's things in my life that I want to do. And so you want to create a cadence in your life where you're working your business in a way that's creating the results that you want, where you're supporting your team, you're bringing in the income you want, and you're able to live your life at the same time, right? And that ebbs and flows. Sometimes we're in seasons where it's just all focus on It Works. So we've got a big promotion coming up or something going on where we're spending more time than usual working our business. And then there's times where we have a little bit more free time. But the only way to make this business work in the manner that I talked about, where you can still live your life, the only way for it to work in a way that actually creates what we're trying to create, right? If you take a step back, why are we doing all this? Why are we doing It Works? We're doing it to create freedom for ourselves and our families, to create financial freedom, to bless other people's lives, to create those blessings in their lives. And so we need to work our business in a way that fulfills our purpose of doing it. And the only way to do that is to focus on the foundations and do the actions that actually creates that. And that's what this is. The actions that create that is being excited about what you're doing, being passionate about the products, having a strong why, and then working with the people that you bring in so that they can learn and grow and become a leader that can build this business eventually without you. You're basically trying to create another you over and over and over and over again. And this system does exactly that. It allows us to not sacrifice our money, because we're getting paid more than we ever have to bring people in, way more, way more. So we're not sacrificing any money. All we're doing is we're reallocating some of our time into the things that will create the blessings that we want to create. And so I can't wait.
Yeah, excited. Carissa, you got any questions?
I'm just overall excited. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to start over ourselves. I love that because there's so many people that may have missed at one point. You can hear me clearly, right? Okay.
Yes.
That may have one point have missed the opportunity to get their 6 or 4 loyals. Back when I started, it was only 4 loyals, but may have missed that chance. So I'm just excited for that, for them to just get that restart and that that rebirth for everything. And then from there, just continuing to work. I feel like it's less anxiety to have to worry about a chart, to have to look at something extremely big. I know, because I know I had anxiety looking at that press chart when it took me a minute. But I'm just overall excited. I love the simplicity that, they don't have much to put in their heads except 4 and 1, a simple ratio, 4 and 1. That's it. So and we do get that as a weekly bonus for ourselves as well. If I get my 4 LCs 1DT this week, I get it next week. Gotcha.
Yep. As we ramp up, you guys will hear this on the 7th, but I'll drip a little bit just because, we're on this call together. So, but there is a ramp up period. So I think if you got your 4 and 1 this week, Carissa, I think there's like a week or 2 delay because programming, getting everything ready to go. But after we're all ramped up and everything's going, after the 7th, it will be a weekly payout, just like your fast start bonus. So you bring somebody in, they get 4 and 1 that first week, boom, it gets paid out with fast starts. So, I mean, you could have somebody come in, get their 4 and 1, help their 1 get 4 and 1 and be paid $500 within 2-3 weeks of being in the business and have a team underneath them. I mean, what's better than that? And the only way that they did that is because they were taught how to do it by their leader. And so, I think the anxiety that you're talking about, all of us have felt that, Carissa. And I think that anxiety comes from knowing how much needs to be done and then doing the work to get that, and then turning around 2, 3, 4 months later and seeing that all that work that went into it, didn't necessarily pay off because, people left because maybe we didn't spend enough time teaching them and mentoring them. And so I think this takes a lot of the anxiety out of it. You just focus on your 4 and 1, teach that person to get 4 and 1. And everybody can do that. I can bring in 1 distributor and 4 loyal customers a month, and then spend some time with my distributor sending out messages, teach them a little bit about Facebook and Instagram, show them how to do a host to post, maybe be on with them for a half hour or an hour in a day because they're terrified that they're going to get asked a question and they're not going to know the answer. So yeah, so let's do a real life scenario. Rusty signs me up. I'm ready to go. I've seen Rusty change his life. I'm ready to go. And Rusty's like, hey, you need to make this post. Here's how you do host to post. And then you need to send a few messages. I'm like, okay, Rusty, I'll do it. And then Rusty checks in with me 3 days later. He's like, hey, did you do that stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I did it. I'm gonna lie to Rusty because I didn't do it, because I didn't want to do it, because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was scared that I was going to message people and they're going to message me back and ask me a question. And I wasn't going to know the answer. I didn't want to look dumb in front of my friends. And so I didn't do it. And so I'm either going to not respond to Rusty, I'm going to disappear, or I'm going to lie to him and say I did it. And so that doesn't help anybody, right? It's a waste of Rusty's time to enroll me and then have me just ghost him or quit because I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared and I didn't do it. So, spend a half an hour, say, hey, one thing that we do to build our business is, we send out some messages to people that follow us on Facebook, or answer a host a post. Let's set this 30 minutes aside and I'll be on a Zoom with you or on the phone with you while you send those messages. That way, when you get a response back and you know what to say, I'm going to help you say what you need to say, right? What a big difference of bringing in some way that way, where you're not even holding their hand, you're just walking side by side with them. All of us went through this when we started. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know the answers of, you know, how the wrap works or what makes fat fighters effective. Like, we didn't know those answers. And so if we can just, you know, take that extra time, and that's what we talk about mentoring. You'll hear Cammie talk a lot about the power of proximity and just being accessible to people so that you can mentor them and actually help them through the process of gaining their confidence and learning what they need to learn so they can be who they need to be successful in this business. And we're going to make good money up front for doing that. And that's going to pay off long term when we turn around 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now. And instead of seeing nothing because we just brought them in and left them high and dry, we're going to turn around 5, 6, 7 months from now with promotions on our teams, with people that are leading independently, that are bringing in their own distributors, that are doing their own trainings, that are confident, that are bringing in their own volume. And it's just going to be completely different.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions.
Come on now, don't be shy. I see some people looking. I see Carrie rolling her eyes to the left and to the right.
I'm trying
Okay.
to think of something. I actually had a question and he answered it. I wanted to know, I was like, did I send this to you like through your head? Because I was thinking, what would be the first 3 things that he would do with a new distributor? And then there you go. You just told us exactly what I wanted to know.
Awesome.
So we talked about the simplicity of it. You talked about helping new distributors. What do you think we could do to grow as leaders during this time?
Great question. So, you know, we talked about that 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So 1/3 of our time, and if you ask Amber, she'll say it's more than 1/3 that we should spend doing personal development. And, you know, I think it just depends on the person, but I think 1/3 is a good amount. But yeah, I would just pour into your personal development. I would kind of take a minute to look at myself and where I'm at in my own leadership, what my team's going through, what I'm going through personally, and see some areas that I maybe can improve on as far as leading my team. You know, maybe you're not personally recruiting as well as you want. Maybe you don't feel like you're leading as well as you want, or you're not as good as you wish you could be at, you know, instilling belief or casting vision. Or maybe you're too red personality and you keep offending people, and so they keep leaving your team. You know, it's a really great practice for us as leaders to spend time examining ourselves and seeing where we can improve. Because if you're going to do this business for the rest of your life, like I am, how much does it pay off to make those improvements right now? Have you guys ever seen on a line chart? Let's see, where's a piece of paper? Let me grab a piece of paper here and a pen. I really like this illustration. A leader did this in one of our team trainings years ago, and it always sticks out to me. Okay, you guys can see this. This is the life. This is your life with It Works. This is today, and this is death day. Not to get morbid, but okay, this is your life with It Works. Okay, and maybe you're doing pretty good and you're just slowly improving with where you're at right now. Okay, you don't really need to do anything to improve. You're just cruising along and you're doing pretty good. Okay, so from now until the end of your time with It Works, you get a pretty good increase. You lead pretty well. Your team continues to grow. You pay your bills. It's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good, right? If you make a tiny change today, just this much change. This isn't 100% change. This is like a 1% change or a 2% change today. Okay, that tiny little change today completely changes the trajectory of your success over the rest of your time with it works, or the rest of your life, or the rest of your time with your spouse, or the rest of your time with your kids. A tiny change. Every time we make a tiny incremental change now, that change creates a huge difference in the success that we're able to accomplish over the life of our time with it works, or the life, you know, here on earth, or with our spouses or anything. And so, you know, I would just spend some time seeing where you need to learn and grow, and then study that. Get a book on it. Reach out on the pages. You know, we've got those great Facebook pages. Reach out in there. Say, hey, I'm looking for a good book on casting vision, or any other reds in here that feel like they're offending all of their distributors and they keep quitting because you're talking to them very bluntly. You know, any of those things. Maybe you are a yellow and you just love people and you would never want to hurt somebody's feelings. And so one of your distributors is doing all the wrong things, but you don't want to tell them they're doing the wrong things because you don't want to hurt their feelings. How effective is that as a leader, right? For me, I'm more yellow than I am red. And so I have to force myself. I learned this lesson a long time ago. I need to force myself to hurt people's feelings if it's going to benefit their life and if it's going to bless them. You can still do it in a nice way, in a loving way. But sometimes there's hard conversations that you need to have with your spouse. Sometimes there's hard conversations that you need to have with your upline or your downline, or maybe there's a friend in your life that just treats you not so well, and you need to have a hard conversation with them in order to get that thorn out of your side finally, and you know, move on from that chapter or that hurt that's in your life. So you know, what I always talk about with personal development when it comes to this business is every single thing that we do on a daily basis, every single thing. Think about all the hundreds of things that you do to build your business. Every single one of those things can be done better if you start your day with personal development. And you know, when I do my personal development in the morning, I'm more confident, I'm more prepared, I'm energized, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to face all the things that I'm going to face each and every day when I go in and build my team. So there's an immediate effect, there's an immediate benefit to our mindset when we start our day with personal development. And then there's a cumulative effect. Every single day you're adding tools to your tool belt. Every single day you're becoming more confident. Every single day you're preparing yourself. You may have a distributor that you bring in 6 months from now that could be an absolute rock star if and only if you are prepared to teach and lead them and mentor them. If you don't do the work between now and then, if you just slack off, you're like, I'm good, I don't need to learn, I don't need to grow, you may miss that opportunity. You may not be ready to teach them and mentor them and meet them where they need to be met in order to become the leader that they could possibly be. And so we're preparing for future obstacles. We're preparing for future success by doing the little bit of personal development every single day. Doesn't need to be a lot. Jump in your Bible and read 3 verses. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of videos on YouTube that are really great for inspiration. You can read a book. You can listen to a podcast. There's endless sources of personal development out there. So make sure you're doing it every day.
Exactly. You know, like the part of 3 or 4 verses a day, and everything's on YouTube or anything you want is it's your fingertips. But that's the one thing that starts to get your mind correct, and it gets past all that stinking thinking, because you start to feed your mind things that whatever you plant in your head, in your mind, it's going to grow. And it's like when you get a no from somebody, you've already planted the idea in your head. If you cultivate it, it'll grow. The no will grow into a yes if you cultivate it and continue to follow up. But it starts with us. It starts at, how do I want to grow? You can't expect your team to outgrow your own personal growth if you're stepping into leadership. And so first thing is get committed to yourself, draw the line in the sand, plant the flag, because I know between Josh and I, we're both going to be here forever. We aren't going anywhere. And I know a bunch of you here, it's going to be like that with us. And, you know, all the years that Mark has put in and other people's put in to get us to where we are at this point, right now is the most pivotal time in the world, especially in America and in our own lives with what we're going through. Right now, people need you to show up more in a leadership role than ever. And you want to cast the vision and give the hope. And now with the new 4-1 ratio, you cast the vision, give them hope, go to work, and they start getting paid. And that's where they become confident in being able to teach and help that other person. You're incentivized another $350 to incentivize to get in the trench and work with that one person at a time. Maybe you have the ability to work with 2 at a time. But when you show up beside that person, you come along beside them, like John Maxwell says, and like Josh just said, that creates a unity, a team, a family, the commitment that we have with each other to go to the next level. And like I told somebody today, I said we're going to stop the molestation of slamming people here and there to fill up boxes, and we're going back to the basics. Is what made us strong and will make you strong now. And I don't think anybody on the Zoom, including Josh and Carissa and Carrie, I don't think any of us has made the kind of money we're fixing to make. But here's what I love about what's going on. The people you're working with have to get paid. They're gonna get paid the same time you do. So when you develop that person, you're creating freedom for your family, for your kids, for your grandkids, years to come. This is a time that we're all starting over, build it tight, build it right, and do everything he just said. And here's where you start to really learn and to really grow. Stop hesitating, start procrastinating, get engaged, and get in action. And see, if you're in action now, you don't have to. Most people are worried about the future. They're not taking action. So every action you take right now makes tomorrow better. You take more action tomorrow. That's how you build a bright, great, big future. But if you sit there and just think about it and you're not taking any action, you're actually living right now of the actions you did or did not take a year ago, 5 years ago. And now you've got all the ammunition you need to go out and take this business to a whole nother level. You agree, Josh?
Yep, I agree. And I'm glad you shared that, Rusty, because it actually gave me a thought. So I just had the thought that there could be probably some people on this Zoom right now that are relatively new, or maybe you're not relatively new in time, but you feel like you're new because maybe you were somebody that got brought in and that was not mentored or taught too much. And so you haven't gone as far as you wish you would have gone in the last 2 months or 6 months or year that you've been in. So if that's you, I'm going to ask you to have one of those conversations with your upline and just say, hey, you know, I could use some mentoring and teaching and some time with you to be developed like the people that we're about to develop coming in. Because there's a good chance there's a handful of people on this Zoom that have not had that before. And so if there's 2 parts to this. If somebody on your team reaches out to you and asks for a little bit of extra time, extra coaching, extra mentoring, please give that to them freely. It will be good for you. It will be good for them. If you are on this Zoom and you feel like you need a little bit of onboarding, a little bit of mentoring and teaching and coaching to get you going this month, please reach out to your upline and ask for that time, because I'm sure with the way that we're switching things up, you know, that will be time well spent. They should be happy to invest that time in you. So that's my challenge to everyone. So I'm glad you said that, Rusty.
Yeah, I accept the challenge. I take it. And if your immediate sponsor is not the person, go upline till you find the person that is going to pour into you. I like what Josh said, invest into you. See, your time is the biggest investment or wastage you'll ever make. The way you invest your time is the way your life is going to look. And right now, if you invest your time and you invest it in the right people, but you become the right person, you'll attract the right people. And once you do that and you help them become successful, you just taught something that duplicates. I got to say this, Josh. Josh and I will probably be in the bed the next couple hours, but while we sleep, we're making money. While he played golf the other day and I did something else on the island, we were making money. While he and I were having all these fancy, fun foods and stuff, this crazy stuff we were doing, we were making money. While Josh was picking me up and taking me across the island to the next event, we were making money, having fun, talking junk and jokes, and just enjoying life together. And see, the one thing about this all these years, we're like family. You're like your family to us when you get in this organization or in the company. You're part of the family. It's like the one team, one mission. I call it one team, one family. And this is where we all succeed together. There is no one is too small of a number to win. We have to all win together. And that's what takes a great team to make a great win. And we're all going to cross the finish line together. It ain't no fun winning by yourself. And I'm more excited, more committed than I've ever been to help people carry it to the next level. And you're going to start to see some things unfold after tomorrow. And by the 7th, and it's going to even get better than that after the 7th at conference, what I heard. And I want to ask one question, but make a challenge. How many of you want to have the best Christmas this year that you've ever had? Just raise your hand and put a 1 in the chat. I'm talking about the very best. Well, so you can't wait till December the 3rd or 5th or 10th to make it have the best Christmas. Christmas starts today. Christmas starts right now as you're preparing. So you're either going to be prepared and you're engaged, or you're going to be trying to repair because you wasn't engaged. If any of that makes any sense. And so, Carissa, you have any more questions?
I got one more that came from someone.
Okay.
Josh, what would you say would be, let me see, wait. How to keep yourself up? How to keep yourself up when fear sometimes cripple you. So how to keep yourself growing when that fear will come in and cripple you? What would you do to, just staying going and not let that fear take you over?
Yeah. So I always say the most powerful drug out there is progression and success, right? So if you're down, the key is to stay in action and go out and get a win, right? Like I've had different times in my life where I have just felt down or whatever. And the best way I found to get out of that is to go do something that creates a win. And to me, that's the strongest drug out there, stronger than any other hard drug out there. To get a win and feel like you're progressing towards your goal in life is such a great feeling and can help. Doesn't remove all of the other stuff that we deal with in life. You don't ever remove any of it, but it changes what you focus on. And when you go out and you act, you do the actions that you know you should be doing that will move you towards your goal, and then you move towards your goal, that feeling will distract you from the feelings of hurt and suffering and stress from all the other stuff that we have in life. And then if you can keep doing that, almost every part of our life, we are either in one type of cycle or the opposite cycle, right? In your business, either you're doing the actions that you should be, you're learning, you're failing, you're growing, you're doing the actions despite it, you're having a little bit of success. That success increases your confidence, so you work a little bit more because if you do the work that you're going to be successful, and so you do more. And now you're like, oh, I'm doing all this work, I bet I could be more successful if I learn. So you start learning, and you've got this forward momentum cycle that's going on in your business. And if you just continue to do that, it will continue to grow and you continue to be successful. Or you can be in an opposite cycle. You can wake up kind of sad and stressed out from stuff, and you're like, you know what, I'm low energy today, I'm kind of sad, I'm a little bit defeated, so I'm not going to send out my messages, I'm not going to make a post, I'm not going to do this. So you don't do it. And then the next day you wake up, you're like, man, I sucked yesterday, I didn't do my stuff, and then you get a message that somebody on your team quits. You're like, oh great, that person quit, now I'm sad again. And so I'm not going to do the actions. And then it's like a backward cycle, right? Same thing happens in relationships and marriages. Like I can support my wife and pour into her and invest in her and serve her and love her, and that helps her feel really good, right? That helps her creates a bond of love and admiration for me. And then even if she's got other stuff going on in her life, if I'm doing that, then there's a better chance that she's going to pour back into me and invest in me and love me despite my flaws and the ways that I make her mad and all of that. I'm investing in her, she invests in me, and it becomes a cycle where we're moving together closer, we're moving forward. Or the opposite, you know, I can get grouchy, I can say something I shouldn't to my wife that makes her mad. She fires something back at me. Now we're pissed. So we don't talk to each other for a while. And then like it just, right. And then like you get back on your feet a little bit and then, you know, something sparks off and you can get in that cycle of going backwards. And so we're in a constant state. Nothing is static. Absolutely nothing in life is static. Nothing stays still. You're either growing and progressing and you're in a forward cycle towards getting to what you want, or you're going backwards. You're never standing still in your relationships, in this business, in your own personal journey in life, in your relationship with God, your friendships, all of that stuff. None of it's static. I like to think of it like fish swimming upstream, right? Fish swims upstream, it goes upstream. If the second it stops swimming, it goes back downstream. It goes backwards. Starts swimming, goes upstream, stops, it goes backwards. And it's the same thing in this business. You know, all of us, every single person, the Duns, when they're making $100,000 a month, okay, they've got hard stuff in life still. Even when you're making 100 grand a month, there's still hard stuff in life. There's relationship stuff, there's health stuff, there's family stuff, there's world stuff right now, there's political stuff, there's sickness with children. Like all of us have a ton of stuff that is hard to deal with. And so we have a decision each and every day. Are we going to do the work that's going to create the life that we want to create through this business despite all that stuff? Or are we going to let all that stuff knock us down, distract us, beat us up, and we're just going to settle for whatever life ends up giving us? I know for me, you know, and I'm not perfect every day. I'm not trying to paint some picture like I don't have bad days. But for me, I'm committed to creating the life that I want to create. And we have such an opportunity to do it through this business. Every single other area in our life can get better because of our success in this business. We can have less stress in our finances. We can have more time to invest in our kids and our spouses. We can go change the world with charities and community projects. We can go run for office or go run a marathon or whatever you want to do in life or be or create. You can do that through the opportunities that we have in this business. So make sure you're doing the stuff every single day that you should be. Work on yourself, grow yourself, pour into your team, get your 4-in-1, help them get their 4-in-1, and we're riding off into the sunset. Anything else, Rusty?
Josh, I think you done. You got me excited again. I'd sign up all over again today. Josh, I appreciate you coming on. I know your time is very valuable. Thank you for all you do for all the teams that work from corporate to the field side. You're the best, man, and we surely appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. And again, thanks for investing. Each and every one of you that's on here, thank you for investing in yourself, for being here.
Right. All right, guys, y'all have a great evening. Make this the best night you had. I love you. And until tomorrow, make this the best night you've ever had. All right, good night, everyone.